What's up, YouTube? Hey, welcome back. It's me, Martin, and I'm back. I'm back again with what I think is gonna be an absolutely exciting, very exciting brand. And before we get started, because I think passion and excitement is gonna rule the day with this video. So let me get the administration out of the window, out of the door, not out of the window. Although I'm sitting right next to the window, out of the door. Please do hit the subscribe button, smash it, like it, give me some comments, and yeah, it just really helps out, and I appreciate all of you guys that are doing that. Now, I will say, and let's get right into it, because this is part of our 5-watch challenge for $1,000, and this is one I've been waiting to do. To be honest, and I'm always honest on this channel, whether you like it or not, I'm always honest. I'm always gonna tell you my opinion. You might like it, you might not like it, but you know, I throw it out there, and then it's for you to, you know, make your own opinion, all of these things. I first stumbled on this brand, I would say around 2000. I've known that the brand many years, and I believe that so have you. But what you might not have known is the watchmaking part of the business. And so I saw it first time like almost like 21 years ago. And it's not the piece that I'm gonna show now, but it is an auto piece. And I thought to myself, there is no way on earth I will ever buy this, because it's pure and simply not their part of their core business. Their core business is something completely else. And so, like, what are they trying to do? Honestly, what are they trying to do? It's one of those things where, like, it becomes this fashionable thing that now all of a sudden you also do watches. And generally speaking, there's a lot of failure when they try to cross over. You know, they're doing clothing, they become a fashion brand, they then become trying to do these fashion watches, and it's not really my type. And I thought the same thing with this particular one. I thought there's no way I will ever own one of their watches, because they're not ugly. At that time, I have to admit, they're not ugly. It's just, I mean, like, what are they trying to do? Like, strange, like really awkward. And so their main business, their absolute core business, and they've done incredibly well for it, and they are the most famous company in the entire planet for this. And what they do as their main business is Swiss Army knives. Now, that might be a dead giveaway for you in terms of which company we're talking about, but when you're doing Swiss Army knives and now you start to do watches, there's something that goes on in my mind and saying, really? Are those two things are like, they're very strange. Well, how do you connect that? And so what really is, it's a fascinating story. And of course, we are talking about Victorinox and the Victorinox Swiss Army, to be more precise, or amongst friends, we're talking about I.N.O.X. It's incredibly fascinating story. Once you, like myself, put your ego aside and you actually start to look and listen to what it is that they're trying to do and what it is that they've actually managed to achieve. And so the whole story with I.N.O.X, with Swiss Army, is pretty much, it's a very fascinating one. The piece that we're gonna look at today, ladies and gentlemen, is, in my opinion, the piece that you need to have in your collections if you want to have a serious, I don't like, if you want to have a beast of a piece. And I'll come back to it, why I think it's a beast, okay? But you have to go back in time, right? And when you start to look at, again, notes. Don't start to do anything without notes, ladies and gentlemen. Notes is absolutely key and crucial for you, and a bit to drink as well. But if you are looking at, if you really look at the history of I.N.O.X, of Victorinox, it's a fascinating part, right? It's actually, yeah, what was it, 1850 something? Let me see. Like the different, like how they started was just, I mean, unbelievable. So in 1884, Carl Eisner decided to set up something around cutlass, right? And he started like knives and all of these different things. And it was like, it soon became this, that these are the knives that you need to have if you're chopping, cutting, and what have you with. And it was pretty interesting because after that, it became these pocket knives, you know, like these really, really fancy pocket knives where you basically, you can survive the zombie apocalypse if you have one of those, because there's so many different things in it. It really is a survival kit. And now, like 1884, moving forward, it became this like company of innovation in terms of like, how do you actually do what we call, quote unquote, a pocket knife that's absolutely incredible. And so what happened was, and it's just absolutely like the pioneering work that they've done with that, including the usage of I.N.O.X steel, stainless steel, is ridiculous. It's just absolutely crazy. But that is for a knife perspective, for pocket knife perspective. So how do those two things have anything in common? Pocket knives, a company with steel, with watches. And it's actually a really fascinating story because it has always been in, quote unquote, the DNA of the family. So Carl Elsener, first, the second, and then the third, the grandchild, has always been, let's pioneer, let's push it forward to, the next level. And what the whole company, Victorinox, has been all about is, how do we take this superb quality that we kind of got the notion of this is Swiss made, not that you need to differentiate here between Swiss made and Swiss made for the army, because that was one of the things that they started selling themselves as, that this is for the Swiss Army or Swiss Army made, which is one of those concepts. It's actually a funny story because Victorinox went to the Swiss government and asked them, can we start to use the term Swiss Army made or Swiss Army knife made? And they were like, well, sure. I mean, we can't control it anyway, so go for it. And so the Swiss Army became this stamp of approval for quality on these knives. And you can imagine that for the military all over the world, these are things that you just needed to have in your gear, right? I mean, like you've got like a corkscrew, you've got a bear open, you've got a small little saw, you can fish with, you can do whatever you want to it. Oh, and you can cut with it as well. It's incredible the amount of innovation they've put in that little piece. But how does watches fit into that? And you need to take a slightly different route to end up with the watches, because one of the things that they started introducing over time was as well luggage, right? So traveler luggage. And it was all with the concept of, this needs to have this incredible durability. It needs to be incredibly well designed, and it needs to basically stand the test of time. And so like with that, it's again, it's one of those concepts. It's a beautiful concept where it's not only design, it's not only about durability. It's also like what the feeling that you're getting with it. You can have something that's absolutely smashingly good looking, and at the same time, it's absolutely robust and cannot be destroyed. And so that's really the concept that they were looking at. It wasn't up until the late 90s that they started really considering, like, okay, maybe we should do something with watches. And they did not do it as, hey, let's come out full blown and start to do watches. That was not the case. But it was where they started looking at how can we do it in a slightly different way. And that's also where they started looking at, they eventually ended up buying Wenger as well, which is a very famous watch brand as well. I think, let me just check. Yeah, so they bought Wenger. I mean, like this crazy history that they have, right? Travel gear, accessories, clothing, and all of these different things. And so it's, like the late 90s, that's really when they're starting to they start to really move into the watch area. The conversation of them already starting to have this idea about it, where they started working through joint ventures and partners and all of these things, already started as an idea around the 80s that, hey, we're gonna do it. And what they saw was through joint ventures, through partners, through daughter companies and what have you, testing it in certain markets, there was a really, really huge demand for what it is that they were offering, which is beautiful design, flawless design, absolutely robust quality work. And with that, then they all of a sudden they're looking at it and saying, okay, so how can we actually own the whole infrastructure of design, develop, and sell, manufacturing, all of those different things. And that was really when they started moving fast forward from 1989 up until, basically till today. One of the things that's incredibly cool about the company is that if you buy anything from them, Victorinox, if you buy anything from them, you don't need to look at the fact that it's Swiss made or non-Swiss made. What you need to look at is if it's got a brand stamp. And once it has that, I would argue, yeah, it's gonna last you for life. Okay, so okay. Listen, let's get into the details, okay? Because this is gonna be mind blowing. So recently, well, not recently, some time back, Victorinox celebrated 130 years of existence. Okay, so that was a big event. That was a big event, obviously. For obvious reasons, it was a big event. And what they decided, because, yeah, why not? We can, was that they decided to do, from now on, we're going to test our watches. Now, not the bags, not the travel cases, not anything else. But we're going to test our watches, timepieces, with 130 tests. And they're not any tests. They are really, really superior, harsh testing. 130 of them. If you can't pass 130 of them, you don't get the stamp, back to production, and we'll try again. And some of these tests, ladies and gentlemen, some of these tests are absolutely mind-boggling. They're mind-boggling. So it's just like, why? And you're looking at it and you're like, well, because otherwise it's not gonna be quality, right? And that's the reason why when I got my hand on this beast and I looked at, this has actually passed through 130 of these incredible, insane tests. I'm like, yeah, there's a high probability that that piece or this piece that I have is gonna outlast me by a factor of I don't know what. There's no way I'm gonna actually break it. There is no way I am going to actually be able to physically destroy this piece. And so that is something that excites me a lot when somebody puts those bold statements and then at the same time, they follow through on them. That excites me a lot. Now, I did go to the webpage for Victorinox to check out some of these tests, and you can see them online. Actually, they've made these really, really cool videos, pretty insane videos, but still very, very cool videos. And they're just nuts. And so one of them, and this is maybe one of my favorite ones, is dropping a watch at like 3rd, 4th floor and letting it just drop flat on ground. There is no, like, it's not on grass. It's literally on like concrete, 10 meters, and nothing happens. It's just, wow, that's it. On we go. Driving over the watch with a tank, like 60 ton, nothing happens. Like, whatever, that's the best you can do. It's just insane what they've done with it. So the one that we're gonna look at today, and the one that that I think is absolutely fantastic, is the professional diver, which they're referring to only as I.N.O.X. I personally, when I looked at it, also because I'm a divers fanatic, or I love divers watches, It's got a right size for me. It's a 45 millimeter. Love the 45 millimeters. I am wearing slightly smaller this time around, but it is absolutely, I love it. 45 millimeters really speaks to me. Rubber strap, not silicone, rubber. And that's one of the things that when you're looking at diverse watches, you'll always pivot between silicone versus rubber. Now, there is obviously benefits with rubber, and also the way that they design those things for diving. And I'll get back to that. It's a quartz and it's actually sapphire crystal glass. Now, does that mean it's good or bad? It's with these tests that it's going through, there is absolutely nothing to worry about if it's good or bad. So it is really, as we like to say, it is what it is. And this time around, it's brilliant. Now, I would like to say one thing before I actually show you, before I show you the watch, right? And let me quote this one. Because I really do think that speaks to me as well as a watch collector. And so I.N.O.X is saying, and this is really, I think it's really, they want their watches to express the personality, their personality, their achievements, their tastes. And so they phrase it in a way of it's us that wants to do an expression of what we think our personality is, what our achievements are, and what our taste is. But at the same time, they also phrase it as you define your personality, your achievements, and your taste through what you wear when you put your watch on your wrist, okay? And so what it means for me is really that they're spending a lot of time considering what does a watch actually do for you. And so yes, it tells the time, but it is so much more than just telling a time, right? So essentially you're buying a watch because of style, design, / functionality. You can talk about investment, you can talk about all of these different things, but it fundamentally boils down to style and design. Of course, price plays a role in it as well. But what is it that a watch should really do for you? Well, a watch should be an extension of your personality. It should be something that essentially encapsulates what it is that you've achieved as a human being, as a person. And it should be something that when you look at it, when somebody sees it, they can say, okay, so this is the taste that he has, right? So you can't have that it signals you have a taste and then you're dressed completely different. It should be like this flawless design continuation of you as a person with your timepiece, with your jewelries, with bracelets, with whatever it is that you're wearing. And so that becomes the whole package, and that they have actually done the consideration of that and is actually considering how do we build such a piece, for me, is actually pretty cool. Now, when they started doing, now this is one of the things that's actually really cool, when they started doing those 130 extreme tests, one of the things that they came to the conclusion of was that let's do the tests first and then design the piece afterwards. So what does that mean? Well, it meant that they kind of had the designs in their mind already on computer, what have you, but they wanted to make sure that they tested it and it could actually sustain all of these different tests that it was going through, and then they could finalize the design. So kind of like almost reverse engineering, instead of saying, hey, here's the final product, let's see how much we can get out of it. No, it was, here is how much we need to get out of it. Let's look at what we can actually design it to, which I actually appreciate quite a lot. Now, let me see if there's anything else that I need to note. Like I can tell you that, like, if you want to see the test, I would highly recommend you to go and have a look at that on Victorinox. I don't know if it's CZ or if it's CH or if it's .com, but you can find it online for sure, and it's actually pretty fascinating how it does that, all of the tests. Now, it is part of the $1,000 challenge, and I would have to tell you the truth about the pricing and the price mechanism that I've had on this one. So I spent a bit of time negotiating back and forth, and I have to admit that the seller was a very motivated seller, and not only that, just an all-round great guy, because I went to him and said, listen, I am very interested in the piece that you're selling. However, I do think that it's priced a bit too high. I understand that you need to get your profit. However, at the same time, you also have to understand I'm on a tight budget. And it did not take him a long time before he said, well, why don't I just put in not one, not two, but 3 straps free of charge. Now, they don't come free, by the way, these guys here, right? They are not free of charge when you get this piece here. So having not 1, but 2, but 3 extra straps, and they are some gorgeous colors, right? So let's just break them out and see the colors to begin with. You've got the black, right? And again, this is not silicone. This is rubber. This is different, right? So is it black? I think it's dark blue. So rubber, incredibly high quality. Now, again, beautiful, beautiful color. And see, this is one of the things that you see, like these bends here, is that you can actually stretch it out. And why is that important? If you are a diver, you're wearing a wetsuit, you put the watch on top of that, and you can actually stretch it like that when you put it on top of it. That's the reason why you've got these things here, okay? Now, the one I really, really love is, look at the matte gray here. Really, really like, let me see if I can get it so you can see it there. Look at that. See the small little logo on it as well. That means that it's quality stamped. But look at the color. Look at how bright and wonderful that color is. It's absolutely gorgeous, isn't it? Absolutely gorgeous. And so got 3 of these bad boys with the price. And I ended up paying, including transportation, so I need to deduct that 325 euros, not dollars, euros for this piece. Now, remove transportation, remove the extra straps. I would say I am cutting it at around 250, maybe 260 euros on this piece as well, which in my opinion is an absolute steal. Why? Because this is a diver's watch that I guarantee you I cannot destroy, okay? Now, have I tried some of these tests? No. Am I gonna try them? They're a bit too extreme for me, so no, most probably not. Again, bam, here you go, the box, right? Duk, duk, duk. Nice and neat logo. Let's crack this beast open and let's see what we have inside. We've got nice. And this is, by the way, this is not a fresh new one. This is actually a used, worn, but absolutely have to give credit to the previous owner that this is so well taken care of. Now, we as well have this small little shelf here. You've got warranty manual here, or guide. Let's keep that separate, we don't need that. You've got a quick guide, and actually they're doing something that's very, very cool, which is that there is a scanner, barcode scanner, that when you open it, here you go, tick, you can actually go online and check everything there on a PDF format, which is something I appreciate. So a small little, neat little thing. Now, here's the thing that's very cool. Duk, duk, I.N.O.X. Look at that. I.N.O.X. Forged to resist. Like, how cool is that? Companion for life. So let me just see here. So it says it's the neutral object of X, robustness near, 130 strength test. So they're not calling them harsh, they're calling them strength test. Some of the tests were extreme. And so here it comes. They were pouring sulfuric and nitric acid on the watch and it didn't burn. Okay, great. 10 meters on concrete surface is the same or equivalent to a drop from a 3-story building. That's what I mentioned. Cool about that. Exposure to a flame for more than 1 minute. Why? Yeah, because you can. 1,200 degrees Celsius. Being driven over by a tank weighing up to 64 tons. Okay, I said 60, add 4 more tons. Bam, there you have it. And then last but not least, maybe one of my favorites. I don't know why, but I think it's one of my favorites. 2 hours in a washing machine at 90 degrees with full spin. Yeah, because in case you do forget to take the watch that you're wearing out of the pocket, you put that in the dryer, in the washing machine, and leave it not for 1 spin, but 2 spins. You know your watch is safe. Okay, so there you go. Like, put this here on and say, these are the extremes tests that we're doing. That is absolutely, that's for me really, really cool. Now, let's open and let's get the beast out. So again, very nice little print here. Victorinox Swiss Army. which is actually really, really cool, right? I mean, like the whole thing is very down low, not very like flashy colors and yellow, red, and all of these different things. And I'll tell you why that is. It's because the coolness of the watch, okay, and like the design and like all of those different things that you want to change it, add, and all of these things comes in the straps. So it's the straps that really does the difference. And so when that's the case, you don't really need much going on the piece, okay? The piece can be very, very simple, but if you're doing the straps, and again, in these absolutely brilliant colors, then that's more than enough to make everything look extra cool and design-wise, right? Now, heavy, yeah, it is heavy. No, I mean, I'm not gonna lie, this is on the upper scale of being heavy. To be honest, it is. And so if you're wearing incredible lightweight watches, if you're wearing, for example, the ultra thin from D1 Milano, you would not feel comfortable wearing this one because it is actually pretty heavy. Do I have a problem with that? Absolutely not. I love it when I can wear a watch and I can actually feel I'm wearing it. And so perfectly fine with that. I expected that. Now look at this one. This is what I mentioned, the strap, right? Look, you can extract it, and that is when you put it on your wetsuit. Now, as I said, it's a 45 millimeter. There is a couple of really, really cool and neat things that really, I find absolutely, I find it really, really nice. So you can see that you've got a small little, here, you've got the small little brand or the logo printed in here or carved in here. I think that's absolutely fantastic. Again, so you have stainless steel, sapphire glass, Swiss made. It is actually Swiss made, right? So you've got the Swiss made down here. See, doot, doot. There you go. There it is. The date sits at around, so sits between 4 and 5. I don't have a problem with that. I am not one of those fanatics that it has to sit at 3 o'clock or 4 o'clock or 6 o'clock or whatever clock. I actually think that is really, really cool. Now it is the, I think it's the mix match between the white, the red, the blue, the metal that just does this amazing thing. If you look at it yourself, look at that. You see, it's just like, it's so multiple dimensional. It's so great. I absolutely love how it just plays with the colors and the dimensions, right? That's one of the things where it almost like it carves in, and it makes it have so much more dimensions. And that is this, it's almost like an optical illusion. I've been talking a bit about it in the past, right? Which is when you are layering things upon each other, and yet it goes down a bit, like, so it's graved in, and then you layer it on top of each other. Like, for example, the dials, you have the hands, you have got like all of it just flows in and builds this impression that it's much deeper than it is, and at the same time that it's much more full than it is. And that's one of the things that I actually love about this one. And one thing I want you to pay attention to, and I'll try and see if I can get it very, very close to you so you can see it. Look at how they've cut the date in. See how they've cut it in? Can you see it? So they've actually cut it dimensionally in, not like straight down, but on an angle down. Okay. And so what that does is, again, it makes it stand out. These are some of the small design tricks that you can use to actually make more focus on something with a lot less space. So this is actually something that's really, really cool, and I very much appreciate that on this piece. I really think that that's a smart way of doing it. So you have, like, for example, the one that I'm wearing now, where, and there's nothing wrong with that, but it's just a cutout, and here's the date. This one is again carved in an ankle that it almost makes it like, you know, blossom out. And I think that's really, really cool. Again, professional diver, anti-magnetic. Anti-magnetic is, as we've talked about, you can get too close to a telephone, microwave, or, you know, what have you not. And then all of a sudden it starts to lose plus minus a couple of seconds and all of these different things. That's not a problem with this one, this bad boy. We've got, of course, the dial that we can, you know, crack around, right? So that is one of the things that's very cool. The glow, I have to admit, I did test it during the night, and it's actually really, really bright. Again, so you would anticipate that a watch that cost this amount of money, that they would have saved money somewhere from. And to be honest, and as I said, I'm always honest with you, I can't really find a place where they've saved money. I cannot. Remember when we were talking about what was it, Invicta? I was talking about the fact that you can see some of the points is, or even Seiko as well, you can see some of the points is like, this is literally where you save money, right? Like it could be the lock, it could be the dials, it could be the luminant, it could luminescent, it could be whatever, but it's visible that this is where you save the money. And to be honest, I can't see it. It might be that they're using a cheap quartz and all of these different things. However, I strongly doubt that when you're looking at the fact that they're actually doing those 130 stress tests or harsh testing on it. Sorry, I doubt that that's where they're gonna save money on it. So I'm not really sure where it is that they're pulling the rabbit out of the hat to get it this cheap. Now, I just popped it on my wrist. Boom, bang, bong, bong, bong. Now, I did honestly, I have to admit, I cheated a bit. So I did actually I wanted to have a look at if I could pull it off, because one of the things that I.N.O.X is saying is this is a piece that you can wear diving and you go directly to the office. Well, obviously you get dressed and you change your clothes and you dry up and all of these things, but it is a piece that you do not need to change and you can actually wear it to the office as well. And so I have divers watches where I would not wear them to the office because they are very much a diver's watch, and you're like, that's maybe a bit too much. It's not. It's a bit of a chunky one. It's not elegant at all. It's not sporty. It's diver's watch. Done, right? And so I wanted to see just now if just by adding, you know, a bit of jewelry, a bit of bracelets, if I could actually pull it off and then just wear a t-shirt and then a pair of jeans and then daff off to the office. And I'll let you be the judge of that, okay? But this is basically what it looks like. And to be honest, I actually think you could pull it off. I actually honestly think that you can pull this off, this bad boy off. I definitely will pull it off. I definitely will try to pull it off. And I love it. Honestly, I do. I do love it. You can talk all day long about what kind of quartz are they using, what kind of this are they using, what kind of that are they using. I leave it to having watched their 130 test and say, yeah, that's good enough for me. I leave it for, I do actually like the design, to be honest. I really, really like the design. I like the case of it. I like the size of it. I like the color combination of it as well. I think that they've done a wonderful, wonderful job there. As I said, like minor details that you're looking at with how they've carved in for the date, I think that's actually really, really cool as well. I love the robustness of it. Really, I do, because that's why I bought it. I didn't buy it to be a dress watch. I bought it because I wanted something robust. I bought it because I wanted something that's there, right? You can't destroy me. Like, that's why I wanted it, and that's what I got, right? I didn't get, an elegant watch that's calling and say, hey, wear me with a suit. Now, here's one that's saying, put on a pair of jeans, put on a t-shirt, you're ready to go. You know what? Go outside, by the way, you see something you want to swim in, just, you don't need to change me, just jump in, and I'm cool with that as well. Oh, by the way, if you drop me, don't worry about me, because I'm cool. I can last, or I can sustain like at least 10 meters of free drop down on concrete. So that's why I bought it. I didn't buy it to be, like, oh, you only wear me with a suit. I didn't buy you for that, right? So the purpose of this piece is what it lives up to. The purpose of this piece is what it fulfills, and it does not fulfill it just 100%. In my opinion, when I got it and I put it on, I went like, I can't believe I only paid like $250, $300 euros for it. I cannot believe that. And I can't believe that I didn't buy it earlier. And again, that is a bit of my own hybris. It's a bit of my own arrogance, or past arrogance, because I'm being less and less. I'm being more and more open-minded, which you kind of can notice from my openness to test and try different brands. But I'm like, this definitely belongs in my collection. Absolutely in my collection. Not only in my top 5 collection, but in my preferred collection of watches that I wear when I go to the office, for example. When I'm on a Sunday or Saturday, I go to to go for a walk or what have you. Definitely when I go swimming, for sure. It's a great looking piece. It's a gorgeously looking piece. And there is no way that you have to worry about like, oh my God, like what about a bit of seawater? Like you don't have to worry about that. It's made for these things, my friend. It's made for absolute pure and utter destruction on your arm. That's the cool thing about it. And this is where it comes full circle with I.N.O.X, with Victorinox, is that the whole aspiration of the company is not only to make something that is honestly 100% indestructible, absolutely indestructible. Not only is it absolutely the highest level of quality, it's more than that. It's the functionality, because, oh yeah, there is functionality on it, right? Because you do have that whole thing with the mechanism for diving. You do have that. And again, if you're looking at, does it have and hold as many functionalities as the Swiss Army knife? No, but I'm sure I could open a beer with it. So, hey, that's still good enough. But it's functionality, it's quality, it's innovation. Do you know what goes into this as technical innovations to be sure that it can sustain those 30 or survive those 30 tests? Amazing engineering. And then finally, this is not a fashion watch. It's not. This is, in my opinion, this is timeless. This is, I would almost go so far and say, this design, and judge it again for yourself, right? This is iconic design. This is absolutely iconic design. This reminds me of a diver's watch I bought more than 30 years ago. The similar, very, very similar design. And I can tell you, I still wear that. And there's nobody that's gonna say, oh my God, this is so outdated. No, they think I bought it yesterday. Well, not yesterday, but you know what I mean. So it's design, it's innovation, it's quality, and it's functionality. And that really is everything you want to have in a great piece at an incredible price. Now, there will be lovers, there will be haters, because there will be people that are as naive or as silly as myself saying, don't do a crossover. If you do Swiss Army knives, do Swiss Army knives, don't do watches. And yeah, I can understand that. And to those people that believes that, my advice would be, try and see if some of your friends don't own this, okay? Or try and go to the shop where they're selling it and try it on. Because the minute you put it on, it changes the whole scenario, changed the whole landscape. Because when I looked at it, I thought the design was really cool. I love the design, right? If I don't love the design, there's no way I'm gonna buy anything. Because and this is where I'm true to my word, and also to you guys, is I'm not gonna sit and promote and like hey, this is what you should buy if I'm not willing to wear it. Like if I don't want to wear it, I'm not gonna tell you, hey, I'm gonna wear it. I'm not gonna lie to you about these things. And so I looked at design up front and I said like, okay, I actually like this design. I actually think the design is really cool. When I got it, I was like, wow, this is way cooler than I thought. To be honest, that is how I did it. Now, I'll also tell you, I've bought watches where I got it and I thought it would be much more cool. And when I got it, I was like, nah, I'm not gonna wear that. And that is actually one that we will review in the future. It's a Longy. It's just not me, right? It's just not me. This one is absolutely me. Now, give it a try, right? Give it a try, give it a go, because I'm pretty sure that you're not gonna you're actually not going to regret it. I absolutely only regret. No, I don't even say that, Martin. Don't go down that line. Don't go down that line, Martin. You don't want to say, okay, I'm gonna say it anyway. I regret I didn't buy it earlier. That's it. I love it. I love having it in my watch collection. I believe that this is a watch that's gonna last me the next 20, 30, maybe 40 years. I believe that. And I believe that I'm gonna have a lot of fun with it. And actually, this is one of the watches that I already believe that could serve as one of the first watches that my son is ever gonna wear, because he cannot possibly destroy it as well. If you can have a tank of 64-ton drive over your watch and it still doesn't get destroyed, I'm pretty sure that you can give it to a child and they're not going to destroy it as well. That's my theory for now. I will update you in the future, 20 years from now, to see if it's happening or not happening. Okay, so stay tuned for that. But to summarize it all, Victorinox, the professional diver, the I.N.O.X that we're wearing here, and I can't stop flashing it because I think it's absolutely such a great piece. Spice it up with a couple of bracelets and then rough look. I love it. Professional diver. It's 45 millimeters. It's rubber, quartz, and sapphire crystal. That's all what you need to know. That's it. That's it. You don't need to know anything else. You can go in and saying, is it H this? Is it H this? Is it this? Is it Psycho? Is it this? You don't need to know that. Honestly, you don't need to know that. Because what you should know is I.N.O.X will not put garbage on the market. They will not. That's it. As much as people are saying, if it's Swiss made, it must be great quality, I would argue, yes, most of the time. However, if you have I.N.O.X putting anything on the market, you know it's going to last. And you know it's going to be great quality. So again, look, it's kind of like a magic 4, right? I.N.O.X, this piece here, quality, incredible quality, history of quality for more than 130 years, innovation and dedication to get the best out of the material, the raw material that they're working with, through Swiss Army knives, through luggage, travel goods, accessories. It's quality, like back and front, like absolutely incredible. It's functionality, absolutely functionality as well. It's simplicity yet functionable. It's innovation, because you do need to have something special if you are planning on doing all of those tests that you're doing on this piece. And then finally, it's, in my opinion, it's absolutely gorgeous design. Would I say iconic? I could be lured into it. I could be tempted to say iconic design. Will it stand the test of time? That's really the big question. Is it gonna be a good investment for you in terms of how much fun you're gonna have, how you'll be able to wear it, connect it with, you know, different styles and what you feel like of that day? Yes. Is it swimming, then going to the office? Yes, it is. So you can have, and you most probably will have, a lot of fun wearing this piece. And for the price versus what you get out of it, you are a winner. You win on it. Absolutely win on it. I would, maybe my closing remark would be, I would buy one as soon as possible before I.N.O.X actually figure out what they have on their hands and they start to increase the prices. That's what I would say. I mean, because it is a winner. And if you're sitting on such a great winner where you have quality, you have design, you have all of these things, you can increase the price, because, I mean, it's just amazing. And you can get them at a good price. New, brand new, secondhand or worn, right? Mint condition, paper, box, all of these things. Very decent price, very decent price. Look it out, look it up, check it out, have a go at it, figure out if that's something for you. I definitely think that this is something for me, so I'm really, really happy that I got it. So that is now another piece that goes into the collection box. So there we go. That was the, I think, third watch now of our collection. And I could not be happier. Could not be happier. I think it's a great, great piece. Now, I want to thank you for having a look at this video. Now, if you've gotten value out of this, or if you've gotten intellectual stimulation out of it, if you've gotten curiosity out of it, if you've gotten anything positive out of it, maybe also negative, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and give me a comment underneath. Would the I.N.O.X be a watch that you could see yourself wearing? So till the next time, my friends, stay safe, stay cool, and I'll be seeing you very soon. Take care. Bye.